folks put their brakes on, and then this past week they said, not only are we not going, we're forming our own convention, which will be in, let me see if I can get the exact location, Chiba Prefecture. They're going to do their own con in March, which is, it'll be March 26th to 27th, which is exactly when Tokyo Anime Fair will be.
Yeah.
So it's just straight out, yeah.
This, although very cool, fighting against the establishment and all that stuff, it reeks of pettiness.
It does.
I'm not allowed in your clubhouse, so I'm making my own, basically.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to bring my pet turtle. I'll show my pet turtle to my other friends.
Yeah.
Because I doubt the whatever they're if they're that worried about what they're showing or going to show at the convention, then it likely doesn't need to be shown.
Yeah.
So don't bother. Just put it on the side burner and take your other good stuff. Take the stuff that all the public is not going to like. It's going to like. Don't take the stuff people aren't going to like. That doesn't work.
Not so well.
But if you suspect your stuff is inappropriate, why not just ask the committee that put up this youth ordinance bill and just say, is our stuff inappropriate? No, it's not. You can show it. Thank you.
There we
if
go.
It is, they haven't even confirmed their stuff is inappropriate before they've decided to go off. It's like they're already presuming they're not allowed in without even being told whether they're allowed in or not. So they're just shrugging them off and going to make their own little clubhouse.
And what worries me is that I think we're going to get a lot of, I think the idea is, that they're going to make them hurt. I don't think this is going to change the law. I'll put it this way. This isn't going to have any difference at all in the Tokyo Youth Ordinance Bill. It's just going to cheese off the folks in Tokyo and prove to them that the anime companies are childish and they just want to make their ecchi stuff and screw you if you don't let us do it. I don't think that's going to help the anime industry in general.
No, because as well, it's just going to. Not only is it going to show the public that they're childish, it's going to show them that they're more concerned about money.
Yeah.
Than anything else. It's if we can't make this stuff to make a profit, we don't want to do it. It's like, why? Just just sell it somewhere else. You don't need to have a hissy fit and choose not to go to something you've been going to for a long time.
Yeah.
Just because a new rule is in place, just adapt to the rule, and if you comply with this rule, there is a likely chance it will not get amended. Obviously, it will. I think it's always going to be there.
Yeah.
But they'll be a lot more lenient towards it. It's like the rule has just come out, so they're going to be intense about it. They're going to force it. So an adult kissing a child on the cheek. Now is considered horrible. But, if you just comply with it, they're going to be like, all right, they've been good. We can lessen the rules a bit. We don't need to enforce it now because they know they need to follow the rules.
Yeah. And that's been one of the things about, I've been doing some research recently about Japanese censorship and anti-pornography laws and so forth. And it has been traditionally this very open-ended thing where basically you cannot sell anything obscene. In fact, obscene was like the word. And what is obscene? Well, obscene is basically what we decide, when we see the thing. So it evolved that obscene meant unobscured genitalia or pubic hair. So as long as that was censored, it was fine. And again, it's one of those things where you work with them, you figure out what's okay and what's not okay, and then you produce something that complies with that, and everyone's happy. But just pulling out what I suspect for a lot of these companies is that the only thing they have to show, the only thing that they have to announce, they're very concerned is not gonna work. They couldn't show up anyway because all their stuff would run afoul of this.
Yeah.
Which would be kind of sad that you're basing all your material on that much stuff. It's like, come on.
But, it happens sometimes.
Yeah.
I think it's just a real shame that a company would sink this low.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Yeah.
That's the thing that that bothers me. That the company, the fans want the company to be there.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So the company should think, well, our fans want us. We should go. Because the fans aren't there just for that one company. They're there for all the companies that are there. They want to go to different stalls, different everything, different panels, whatever they want.
Yeah, the fans are the ones who
can't do that now.
Yeah, the fans are the ones who are going to really hurt from this.
Yeah.
You have folks who live in Tokyo, and honestly, Chiba Prefecture is going to be a long way away, and who just aren't going to be able to make it. So, and yes, you'll have some in Chiba who couldn't have made it to Tokyo. But, like you say, this is, these cons are not just about being there. It's about letting your fans know what's there, and being available for your fans. And so they're kind of spitting in the face of that. Shame. So what else? That's really the big stuff.
It was. We've said a pretty slow week for anime newsy news. Yeah.
This Manga UK social media hub, I'm very curious about.
Yeah, I'm interested in that, but it's like I'd like to talk about that, but there isn't exactly much. It's like we could talk about potential, what it has the potential of. Similar to we spoke about there was another website that was planning to do something to do with a manga on the internet. I honestly can't remember.
Funimation was doing this site where you could sort of make your own manga online and bring your own characters in. And
it's just like that. This has a lot of potential. It's this stuff gets the fans more interested. And it means they've got a better place to just get their news. It's like a lot of Funimation stuff people don't know about until it's out in the shops.
True, yeah.
And, when it's out in when you just see it in the shops at random, you often go for your pockets and realise you have no money.
Yeah.
But if you know it's coming out, you often set aside £16 for the next anime film. You set it aside and say, I want this, or you pre-order it.
Yeah.
And most DVDs nowadays make more money on pre-orders than they do actual in-store sales. Everything is done online, and if they're going to start saying in 6 weeks, well, obviously not 6 weeks, but in 3 weeks, this anime DVD is coming out in these stores.
Yeah.
Go there and ask for a pre-order. Set one aside and get it. And that will mean more sales. But again, we don't know that that's what they're going to do. They might just put up previews of films or stuff that's already out there. We have no idea really going. And the word social as well. From the description you actually gave, there was not much social stuff there.
No, the
there is the opportunity for it.
Yeah, the announcement on Anime News Network says that the hub will include news updates and features as well as video content. The site's editorial team will be primarily in-house, with occasional contributions from others. And the company will also work on its Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube presences. So this certainly sounds more like a push effort than a collaborative social media thing.
Yeah.
But, hey, that's fine. Even if it's not, the next great social media thing, then at least it's, like you say, it's another way of getting the word out.
Yeah. But speaking of social media, it would be good to have a specific anime social media site.
True.
Or not for anime, just anime, otaku social media site. That would be something that would be really, really useful for the otaku community.
Yeah.
But no company wants to obviously risk the money, because it would be a big amount of money being thrown at an otaku-based social network.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be fairly expensive. Plus, just the whole question of, how do you get your folks to use it?
Yeah.
What are the features? All that kind of stuff. I mean, the otaku are notoriously fickle. And
most of the money would be spent on advertising. The best way to get it done, obviously, is just leaflets in DVDs.
True.
Because I don't read leaflets. When they come through my letterbox, I don't read them. When I get handed them in the street, I don't read them. But when I get them in a DVD, just before I pop the DVD in, or when the DVD's loading on the computer, I just look through it. I leaf through it.
Definitely.
You know, because there's other DVDs, there's other stuff. You know, it's saying you can buy this if you like this, buy this, which I often do. And it's got websites, and you know, I'm a nerd. I'm watching a DVD on the computer. I have two computers with me right now. I might as well look up this website on the other computer.
Exactly.
So you know, if they did it and then just put tons of leaflets in, or just a leaflet in every sort of DVD, you know, in like all the Ghibli films, and anime series DVDs, and just put it in there, it would get used.
Yeah.
But that would be a lot of money.
Yeah. You know, and you got to make a service that folks would actually want to use. You know, why would I want to use, you know, Otaku tweets or whatever when I've already got Twitter and Facebook and all this other kind of stuff? So it'd be interesting to see what the exact value. I mean, if it worked, then it would be awesome to be able to be on that kind of social network, and so that when something's announced, it'll go out to everyone. You know, everyone will be talking about this new thing, and you'd be the first to find out. And by the way, Crossroads in the chat is correct. You know, the weird thing about the law is that it focuses on anime and manga specifically, not live action stuff. But it's because anime and manga is aimed at teens and children. You know, that's more the market for anime and manga, even in Japan. So that's why it's kind of focused on in the law. All right, well then, I think that's it for this week.
Shame there's no Miniman.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's Otaku tomorrow, yes?
Correct, yes. The plan is for us to record our first episode of Otaku tomorrow, which will...
Do the fans know what we're going to be talking about?
Let's tell them. So, Otaku is basically it's going to be a new podcast, basically, that Matt, Miniman, and I, and possibly some other guests, will be putting together, that is going to be, in every episode, we're going to talk about some specific issue that is facing otaku and anime and manga fans in general. Something that, you know, folks aren't really talking about and going into detail about. Things like the Tokyo Youth Ordinance Bill Amendment, you know, Lolicon, what do we do about Lolicon? All sorts of different stuff, you know.
What the effects of certain things have on the anime community and the anime industry.
Yeah.
Because one thing that we know is what affects the community affects the industry, but what affects the industry doesn't always affect the community.
Yeah, sometimes the community doesn't care.
It just sort of, you know, it's like, as long as I can still buy my anime, I'm quite happy. But if the community is pissed off, obviously sales will drop.
Yeah. And that's the thing is I want to talk about fan subs. You know, fan subs kind of sit out there as a thing that kind of everyone watches fan subs, and we all kind of know we do it. But is that really ethical anymore? And where do we draw the line? And then the whole, you know, downloading RAWs and so forth and so on. It's a lot of it. So the idea is to do that. I'll certainly my plan is to post those videos on YouTube. I also want to try to put together a full-scale video podcast for it, so it'll be on iTunes, stuff like that. So we'll see where that exactly develops, but that is the plan, to do a full-scale video podcast. It'll probably be something, I don't think it'll be weekly, just because of the amount of time and amount of research we'll have to put into it. We'll do it as
bi-weekly the best?
I think so, yeah.
Tri-weekly?
Yeah, we can try for bi-weekly and see how that goes.
Yeah.
And we'll see, but I think it'll be nice to really delve in. I'm trying to find other guests to bring on who've had some interesting things to say about this stuff. So we'll see.
Well, one person I would this is far off and probably almost impossible. But one person I'd love to get on for something like Otaku is the guy from Traction.
Oh yeah.
He was the only video podcasting anime, you know, kind of guy, and it was, in my opinion, and still is, the best anime podcast. It was just like every other anime podcast in the fact that it wasn't regular. You know, I think it came out every 2 months, so that's regular enough, but there's not enough of it.
Yeah.
And you know, it obviously ended because he didn't have the money. But it would be awesome to have him on and see what he thinks about anime, because he didn't really talk about anything but the animes he was